I'm here at the scene of the crime spree, right behind me.
Strange.
Vice Mayor Strange, you'll address her properly.
You can kiss my foot.
Mr. Rickard, you're out of order.
FBI, we are asking you to investigate this council. Please look into this council, how they award contracts, the bid process, how they use their positions to benefit their friends and themselves, how they use their positions to attack residents and critics and neighbors and business competition. FBI, will you please look into this?
And I welcome the FBI here. If you notice, Mr. Thompson, with his plea for the FBI and his watchdog group, this city runs the cleanest in this whole county. I guarantee
He
that.
was served a federal subpoena this morning.
Did receive a subpoena this morning, and we're going to cooperate 100% with the subpoena. And
Most of you who were involved up here, you gaslighted me. You tried to say I was crazy. And now we know that that's not true. And there's a lot of other issues I've been asking about as well.
Well, I'm going to go over tonight some of, and just a little bit, just a sliver of it, because there's so much of it. The recently released 4,000 pages of evidence in the Lynn Haven corruption case. The trial, by the way, takes place on Monday, the 27th of this month. A little more than 2 weeks is when the trial takes place. Former Lynn Haven Mayor Margo Anderson is facing 2 counts, and developer James Finch is facing, I believe, 3 counts. That's down from about 80. But it's so interesting now that these documents have been released, so much of which we couldn't see before. And a lot of people are still confused about what was under protective order, what was sealed. Just because it's sealed doesn't mean that you can't go view it. So many issues like that. But now the court even released stuff that was previously under protective order. So what we are able to see now are the FBI memos, the investigation notes, the reports from the Bay County Sheriff's Office, because remember, for the last 4 or 5 years, 4 years, the Bay County Sheriff's Office has been working hand in hand with the FBI to clean up public corruption in Bay County. And so far, they've caught the Bonnie and Clyde, James Finch and Margo Anderson. Now, they told another judge a little more than a year and a half ago that they argued presenting evidence for an FBI affidavit, search warrant affidavit, that Bay County was more corrupt than New Jersey and New Orleans, and they named names. But those folks have not been yet held accountable. I'm told it takes time. The public trust unit says it takes time, Bernie. We had a COVID hit and an election with Joe Biden. It's really slowed us down. Really slowed us down. Now, meanwhile, the statute of limitation ticks on. And a lot of people who committed public corruption crimes, are off the hook. And if they wait much longer, more of them will be. But today, let's take a look at what we have before us. And I'm going to focus tonight, a sliver, and I'll be presenting this evidence, to show you so much. WMEB says they're going to post it all. Now, I have after they review it, I have a feeling they're going to redact names of their friends and those they've got a family affair with in the media. But we'll see. The Beacon of Bay County has all of it, I believe. And so, do our best to show it to you. I'm going to try to show it to you in a way that you can digest the most important things that you're going to see and hear about as the trial approaches. I do want to point something out. Speaking of the public corruption and the promises made by the sheriff's office and by the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's office to clean up public corruption, they know about a lot of it, and they know names and they've got evidence. But so far, they've been laser focused. All right, laser focused on two people: the former mayor of Lynn Haven and developer James Finch. Two people who were never charged, ever charged, not even when Anderson had 64 counts against her. She's got 2 now. Never were they accused of stealing a dime from the city of Lynn Haven. Now, others were millions of dollars. And there is evidence in these 4,000 pages. Excuse me, in these 4,000 pages, there is evidence of FEMA theft and fraud directed by others that looks pretty bad. It looks like millions and millions and millions of dollars were stolen. So what is it then that Margo Anderson and James Finch are being charged with? Why so much time and so much effort after those two? Well, because really what they are charged with is more of a state ethics situation. The prosecutors, the federal prosecutors, are saying that James Finch provided things of value to Mayor Margo Anderson, who voted to benefit him. So therefore, the people were defrauded of honest services, of a mayor who made decisions not based on her friend, but based on you. Neither of them have ever been charged with stealing a dime. A lot of people, when you look through these 4,000 pages, appear to have had their hands deep inside the FEMA cookie jar, but they, for some reason, have a hell of a lot of protection. Just, isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible, what I just explained to you? All right, why don't we do this? Let's take a look at one of the FBI memos. And it's an important one. It was just done on September 30th of last year. What? So Mayor Anderson was indicted more than 2.5 years ago. And you'd think after you're indicted, they've got the evidence to prosecute you, right? No, they're going back and trying to get new evidence. And in doing so, there are narratives being crafted that look orchestrated, I'll show you, and that are starting to contradict other narratives, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look right at all. The one we're going to look at tonight, the FBI memo, is the one that Vickie Gaynor, the city manager in Lynn Haven, 2 days after, on September 28, she was given a 4-year contract. 2 days later, the FBI interviewed her, and boy, did she have a lot to say. It wasn't true what she said. Some of it was about me. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate it to you. Now, do you know that lying to the FBI carries a 5-year maximum sentence? That's one of the charges James Finch is facing, by the way. Lying to the FBI about a bill of sale that actually exists. You would think, if you had seen city manager Vickie Gaynor on the witness stand testifying in front of federal judge Mark Walker on December 12th, you would think that the FBI and the prosecutors would be very concerned and disappointed in her testimony. But instead, they circle the wagons. They say, okay, they know it's false. It's demonstrably false. but they stand with her. They stand with certain witnesses, to include city contracted engineers, even though their testimony is clearly false. It is really, really incredible. And I'm going to show it to you right after this.
Hand caught in the cookie jar? Sometimes bad habits continue even into adulthood. I'm El Saulene, 850-215-0628. Let me help you.
It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan could make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com.
All right, let's take a look at a post I made today on Facebook. Okay, now, if we look down here, you see that right there? That right there is what is known as a Form 302. It is an FBI memo. It's an investigation memo. So when a couple of FBI agents come and talk to you and inform you about the nature of the conversation, that it involves an investigation and that you got to tell the truth, they'll ask questions. They'll investigate. And then they'll formalize and memorialize what they have discovered through witnesses. And what they put in these FBI memos are key elements that could be used as evidence for a possible crime. Okay, they'll often tell this stuff to a grand jury in order to get an indictment against you. Well, on September 30th of last year, City Manager Vickie Gaynor was interviewed by the FBI in an investigation. And she said a couple of things on these two paragraphs alone, which were false. Demonstrably false. It was shown in the court on December 12th that it was false. But let's look at the very last paragraph. Holy shnikes, she's talking about me to the FBI. It says Gaynor heard rumors and believes that Bernie Thompson is being financially supported by Finch. Thompson uses his media presence to support Finch and Anderson and to attack Gaynor and Ramey. This was on September 30th. Before I've been telling you about what I saw months later on December 12th and 13th. So I had not been, quote, attacking Ramey and Gaynor when she made this statement. This was about a month and a half before the evidentiary hearing. It looks like they were anticipating that I would be telling you what was going to be said in that evidentiary hearing. This is unbelievable and false, by the way. All right, I'm going to share with you, I'm going to take these issues one at a time, but this is the FBI memo where Vickie Gaynor told the FBI key elements that could be used as evidence for a potential crime. Now, if you were the FBI agent and you were interviewing Vickie Gaynor and she said that she had heard rumors that Bernie Thompson is being funded, is a paid hack by defendant James Finch, if you were the FBI agent, what would your next question be? I think I know. Well, tell us where you heard those rumors. Where'd you hear that? Who told you that? Who's saying that? Let's go find out if that's true. But they didn't do that. They took the Marvin Gaye approach. They heard it through the grapevine. I love Marvin Gaye. He's one of my very favorites. Heard it through the grapevine. This is supposed to be information. And this right here is indicative of how just about all of the FBI memos have been when they are investigating James Finch and Margot Anderson. And you're not going to have to take my word for it, because you're going to see them for yourself as they continue to be put out. All right. So they didn't, though. Right. So since the FBI did not ask the question and find out who it was that said this, so we can go talk to them and find out if it's true. And even if it were true, would it be illegal? Even if it were true, would it be illegal? No, it wouldn't be illegal. But it's not true. I've never received a dime, a penny, directly or indirectly, from James Finch, ever. So since the FBI doesn't want to run down the truth, I have launched an investigation on myself. We got to find out where this came from. So here's what I want to propose, and I'm serious about what I'm telling you right now. I have already sent an email to City Manager Vickie Gaynor today, asking her that very question. Where did you hear this rumor? Who did you hear it from? Because I need to go investigate this. I'm under investigation by myself, of myself. So here's what I'm asking you, because some of you know where these rumors come from. I know where they come from because I've been hearing these rumors for the past year. I've been hearing that Arthur Cullen is spreading these rumors, that WMBB is spreading these rumors, but I don't have proof of it, and I want proof of it. I want proof of it because I'm investigating myself. So here's what I'm asking you. If you have received a text message, a Facebook message, an email from anybody who is saying these things in order to discredit me, Bernie's just a paid hack. He can't possibly believe this stuff, even though everything he's telling you is turning out to be true. If you have a screenshot, an email, a Facebook message, any of this, I want you to email it to me, and I will protect your identity. All right? This is how I learned what I learned. This is how a watchdog journalist gets information, through anonymous sources and public records. So if you've got possession of any of this, I'm trying to track down the source of this rumor that made it on to an FBI memo. Okay? So here's how you can get it to me. Through an encrypted email called Bernie Thompson, B-U-R-N-I-E, Bernie Thompson, at proton, P-R-O-T-O-N, mail.com. Got it? Bernie Thompson at protonmail.com. I want screenshots of text messages, emails, Facebook messages, whoever it is that are spreading these rumors. We're going to have to investigate it, because the FBI didn't ask the next follow-up question and put the answer in its FBI memo. Why wouldn't they do that? Well, I'll tell you why. I think. Now I'm going to speculate. Because this was September 30th of last year. They knew that on December 12th and 13th, there would be an evidentiary hearing. And they also knew, because it happened, that they were going to start, the prosecutors were going to start asking the judge for an extension of the protective order. Okay. They didn't want all this stuff that came out to come out, because it's you start to learn the real story about what's going on around here. And so they wanted to basically make sure that the press and the people never saw this. So they create a narrative that Bernie Thompson, and by the way, the Beacon of Bay County, they said the same thing about the Beacon of Bay County, can't possibly mean this. They are being paid to attack a City Manager Vickie Gaynor, Police Chief Ricky Ramey, and I don't remember if Mayor Nelson was mentioned in it or not. Not by me. Yeah. All right. So you got that? Send it to me. I want to find out where the source, and I'm going to report it. I'm going to report the results of this investigation. I might even do video interviews. Yeah, we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get to the bottom of it. Is that something? All right. So I think I've got more for you. So what I want to share with you now is on this same exact page. I'll show you. It's right here. In this same FBI memo. Here we go. Right there. Look at the paragraph above this. This is incredible. This is what Vickie Gaynor told the FBI on September 30th of last year. Okay. She said that Judy Tinder filed a lot of public record requests with the city of Lynn Haven. This information always made it to the Beacon and to McElroy, a lady who goes up and speaks to the council. She's critical of the council. Now, this is remember, if you lie to the FBI, it's a crime. In a formal memo, Vickie Gaynor tells the FBI, before Anderson and James Finch were arrested, Tinder would always vote no when it came to Finch. But after Finch's arrest, Tinder was a big supporter of everything that Finch said. You see that? All right. So let's test that theory. Because on December 12th, while Vickie Gaynor was on the witness stand, under oath, explaining this to Chief Judge Mark Walker, here's what happened. The defense attorneys got a chance to ask her about this. She said, remember what she says now. She said, she said in the middle right there, before Anderson and James Finch were arrested, Tinder would always vote no when it came to Finch. After Finch's arrest, Tinder was a big supporter of everything that Finch said. Now, Vickie Gaynor is the city manager. She is the perfect person to have this evidence. Why? Because she calls the votes. She calls the roll. So whenever they vote on a contract, she's the one who says, she calls their names. She's also the one that records the votes. She's also the one that creates the meeting minutes. She does it all. So if anybody would know that Vickie Gaynor would always vote no on James Finch before he was arrested, it's her. And that's what she told the FBI. And the FBI said, well, I'll be damned. That really looks like Finch is the male side of the Bonnie and Clyde of public corruption, right? So let's take a look at what happened when she was asked about this. There's the transcript from December 12th. So this is Guy Lewis cross-examining Vickie Gaynor. And it says what he's doing is he's going over all of the votes that Tinder ever voted on Finch. Guess how many times? Guess how many times? Remember, Vickie said that Tinder always voted against Finch. Guess how many times Tinder voted against a Finch project or anything having to do with Finch or Phoenix Construction before he was arrested? She said she always voted no. How many times did she vote no? The answer is 0. How many times did anybody vote no? 0. The defense attorneys showed Vickie Gaynor, who calls the roll, records the votes, and writes the meeting minutes. They showed her that, in fact, no commissioner ever voted against the Finch project or anything having to do with Finch. They were all 5-0 or 4-0. Look at this. So let's just look toward the middle. And the motion is to authorize. So they're talking about a specific one, but they went through a bunch of them. It was voted 4-0. Unanimous, including Tinder, said Guy Lewis. Do you see that? Vickie Gaynor says, I see that. Guy Lewis says, ma'am, I can go through each one of these. The history of Judy Tinder's votes. She says, sure. And they do. And Guy, the defense attorney says, how do you explain that, ma'am? Vickie Gaynor, December 12th, said, I don't. I think that's just an error on my part of thinking because I know during those meetings there was a lot of discussion that's not captured in here. And Miss Tinder was really, she was hesitant always for any contractor. I do know that. So for me, that's a mistake on my part. That's all. Vickie Gaynor didn't lie to the FBI. It's just a mistake. Anybody could make a mistake who calls the roll, records the votes, and writes the minutes. This was about 5 months ago. She told the FBI this. And the defense attorney said, it's a fairly major mistake, ma'am. Wouldn't you agree? She says, excuse me? We're talking about half of 2017, all of 18, 19, 20, up until August of 2020. Vickie Gaynor says, it is. I should have gone back and checked the facts. I should have gone back. I just made a mistake. The same time that Vickie Gaynor said that I'm on the take, she told the FBI that Judy Tinder voted against Finch all the time until he was arrested, and then she's always for Finch. Let's read it again. In the middle, this is what Vickie Gaynor told the FBI. Before Anderson and James Finch were arrested, Tinder would always vote no when it came to Finch. After Finch's arrest, Tinder was a big supporter of everything that Finch said. Why is the FBI not upset that their witness, when she was put under oath December 12th, said, oh, she was just wrong. Just an error on my part. That's all. Just a mistake on my part. Pretty big mistake. Am I right or wrong? Big mistake. So she says it is. I should have gone back and checked the facts. She's a prime witness. And it gets worse. It gets even worse. If you were a prosecutor and you were looking at putting people away for the rest of their lives who never have even been charged with stealing a dime from the city, and you found out that your prime witnesses, like Antonius Barnes, who said, no, I was never bribed by James Finch, ever. Do you know how much trouble that puts him in, Antonius Barnes, for telling the truth? All he had to do was say, yeah, he bribed me, and Antonius Barnes is home free. But his conscience wouldn't let him do that, the former commissioner. But Vickie Gaynor, on the other hand, she'll say just about anything, and the FBI is happy to lap it up and put rumors where information and facts and evidence are supposed to go in a formal FBI memo, because they were setting up their motion to expand the protective order so that you could never see this. But Chief Judge Mark Walker said, no, it's the First Amendment, it's in the public interest that the press and the people see these public proceedings. Why is it that the defendants want you to see everything and the prosecutors want you to see very little of the good, juicy stuff? So what else is in these? What else is in these 4,000 pages? Well, I didn't see anything else about me, but there's a lot in there about others in this town who actually did direct the fraud, who actually did have their hands deep in the FEMA cookie jars. Will WMBB report that, or will they continue? Will they continue their smear campaign based on rumors and innuendo that the FBI and prosecutors are happy to run with in order to distract and protect the real public corruption criminals in this town. That's terrifying. Is that not terrifying? That's about it. So, hey, by the way, if you haven't already and you want to really keep up with this, because documents are going to be coming out like this, you're going to see it. I highly, highly, highly recommend you do something. I am every Friday, and I've already done it today. Every Friday, I have what I'm calling the Lynn Haven Roundup. Everything that I've posted, every show, every document that I've posted over the past week, every Friday, you'll be able to see it whether you have Facebook or not in a newsletter. So if you want one newsletter with everything in it once a week, you don't even need Facebook. So if you know people who don't have Facebook and they want to keep up, this is how they can do it. It's posted on a website, and you can have it emailed. If you subscribe, you can have it emailed once a week. Here it is. I'll show it to you. This is how great this is. So I highly, highly recommend you. It's easy. All you do is put your email in it. Done. And it will automatically go to your inbox once a week. Here it is. Oof, this is good. Look at that. That's what it looks like. So it'll look just like this. This is the week before. Okay, I just want to give you an idea of what it looks like. So it'll have a date, January 2nd. The judge says no sanctions on the Lynn Haven bad actors. Well, hell, let's see what that's about. Look at that. I'm here at the scene of the crime spree, right behind me. What else did he talk about? January 2nd. There's documents. I mean, you will get the whole week roundup. All you got to do is go and subscribe to it. I posted about this just below this show, so you can go subscribe to that. You just put your email in there and it comes to you. You're not going to want to miss it. You are not. I always say this, but you are not going to believe what's coming your way. You're about to be blown away at the evidence. And you're going to wonder why the sheriff's office and the FBI and the prosecutors, why did they not follow the evidence? Why did they follow the rumors? You're absolutely not going to believe it. All right. I want to thank those who make this possible because it's so important. I'm so grateful for you for sponsoring the show.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777.
All right, I got to get back to this investigation on myself to figure out where the rumors started. Since now the FBI is putting in its official memos rumors and not asking the obvious next question, where did it come from? Let's go run it down. Let's get to the truth. Let's find the truth. I got to find the truth. And remember, if you've got a screenshot from anybody in this town, Arthur Cullen, WMBB, anybody in this town who is saying that Bernie Thompson is being funded by James Finch, you got a screenshot of that, email, text message, Facebook message. I want it. Confidential. That's how I know what I know, because a lot of you trust me. And you can send it to my email, BernieThompson@protonmail.com. BernieThompson@protonmail.com. It's encrypted, And we're going to investigate myself and get to the bottom of where these rumors came from, since the FBI didn't ask the question. Unbelievable. All right. Thanks for being with me, and I will see you soon.